Welcome to everyone to a new Versus episode, and today we're going to be leaving the Vanguard weapons aside and we're going to be comparing the Grau 556 with the XM4. And we're going to hop on into TTK comparisons and then move into the builds as well as stats comparisons at the end. So we're looking at two builds for each weapon today, and the TTK is really easy to understand as chest, stomach, and limb shots all have the same TTK, which only leaves damage drop-offs to consider. Now, up to 22 meters, the Grau is better by 10 milliseconds, then each barrel falls off based on their inherent damage range potential or lack thereof. So the Ranger barrel falls off before the Task Force barrel on the XM4, and the Nexus barrel falls off before the Archangel on the Grau. However, when the Grau falls off, it loses all lead against the XM4 builds at that 48 meter mark, as you can see, handing the TTK lead to the XM4 by 71 milliseconds at further ranges. Headshots are the same overall setup with a 7 millisecond lead for the Grau until 22 meters, then falling accordingly, and the XM4 taking a 75 millisecond lead out at further ranges. Now, when we talk about the best builds, let's go ahead and talk about the Grau first. Now, we're going to be running the Monolithic Suppressor and the Commando foregrip as a staple. We're going to talk about the Archangel barrel build first. Now, this one you can run with the 60 round drum and the tack laser. That's going to give you the following recoil pattern. You definitely don't want to drop the Commando foregrip or run the rubberized grip because it's just not going to help your case in any pronounced way, and the tack laser just helps you with a quicker ADS time. Now, if you're that type of person that doesn't like the iron sights for the Grau, then you can definitely drop the tack laser and run the VLK or whatever other optic you like. If you do choose the VLK, then you will get a really nice thinning of the recoil pattern, as you can see right here. And it's a pretty nice addition to how the Grau's recoil pattern normally goes, so you can go ahead and run this. Is very viable as is. Now, for the second Grau build, we're going to be running again the Monolithic Suppressor Commando foregrip, but we're going to be running the Nexus barrel. Now, this is going to give us a pretty close bullet velocity to the Archangel, and the control is not too bad either. Now, I wouldn't recommend you running the tack laser and the 60 round jump with this barrel specifically because you are getting a bit more of a pronounced kick, as you can see from the recoil pattern here. So what you would definitely want to run here is, if you want to go with the tack laser, because the iron sights with this barrel are also really clean, then go ahead and drop to the 50 round and you'll get a way more consistent recoil pattern. Or you can also just drop the tack laser, go with the 60, but run a sight, and preferably a sight that gives you better control, because then it will thin the recoil pattern, same as it did with the Archangel build, and then you'll be able to run a way more consistent recoil pattern on this one. Now, I do highly recommend this one, however, as a regain loadout. So you can drop the optic, change to the 50 round. This is going to give you a really consistent pattern as you see it, and then just add fully loaded to the mix, so you have a really mobile assault rifle that you can use to regain that has fully loaded, nice iron sights, and great bullet velocity. Now, for the XM4 builds, we're going to be running the Agency Suppressor, the Field Agent Grip, and whatever sight you prefer. Now, based on if you're running the Axial Arms 3X or if you're going with the SUSAD Multi-Zoom, which is what I was using for this video, which actually reduces the visual recoil, it seems, although it technically adds more recoil to the pattern itself, but it wasn't really noticeable, at least based on what I was looking at. So whatever you choose is perfectly fine. Just know that your aim down sight time will change based on it. And you can go ahead and change between the Ranger barrel and the Task Force. And as you can see from the recoil patterns up here, the recoil pattern doesn't really change much vertically. Now, I did notice that the Task Force did have a little bit more of a side to side within the pattern, and the Ranger gave more consistency in it. So I would likely go with the Ranger just because it gives a quicker aim down sight speed, and it just had more consistency and pretty much the same vertical extension of the pattern. And then go ahead and run whatever magazine size you want. Just understand that the aim down sight speed is the greatest part that will be affected by this. So you can go with the 45 round for the fastest aim down sight, or the 60 for more bullets but a rather slow aim down sight speed. And the 60 is pretty much what we were running for the comparison on today's build, but feel free to adapt these as you'd like. Comment down below which one you went with. Now, looking at other relevant stats for long range weaponry, for these four builds, the fire rate goes to the Grau with 732 rounds per minute, the XM4 close by with 723. Muzzle velocity goes to the Grau Archangel barrel build with 1601.4 meters per second. The Nexus being the same as the XM4 with 1530 meters per second. The ammo count goes for the 60 rounds, of course, which you can run on all the XM4 builds, and the Grau Archangel. Do not run it on the Nexus because of that weird recoil. In regards to reload time, the XM4 takes the lead. Reload add time, the Grau takes the lead here. Empty reload time, the Grau once again takes the lead, and all of these are pretty close, like pretty much millisecond differences. ADS time does really go heavily to the Grau with 272 milliseconds, and the XM4, of course, this 500 millisecond ADS time can change depending on the magazine type you use, so just keep that in mind. You can lower it to somewhere around like 320. The drop time and the race time both go to the XM4 as well for other stats that are relevant. So who's the winner in your opinion? Let me know in the comments below, as well as what your favorite class setup for the Grau or XM4 is. Make sure to let me know if there's another weapon you'd like to see a versus episode for. And in my opinion, I would say today's episode is given to the Grau, because I think apart from being a fan favorite, it's just very versatile as it is. And although I covered 2 long range builds, you can pretty much build this in a variety of ways and still be really effective with it. So let me know if you agree or disagree with my decision. But we've got more versus episodes on the way, potentially a little bit more delayed now that Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 are in the horizon. But we will likely be providing a couple more videos for the versus series before Warzone 2 arrives. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date. Click the bell so you don't miss a single one of these. And if you're wondering what the best long-range weapon is between the SA87 and the Vargo S, then go ahead and click on the video at the end here. But with nothing else left to say, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And through it all, I hope you always remember, Sauce Time Gaming.